Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome back to another PIH interview. Tonight we are giving a very big welcome back to a lady who was on quite a lot of our lives when we first started, way back in the day. And so it's the first time we've seen her in about a year, but we thought we'd drag her back on. And it's great to have her back on Through the Veil Paranormal, Nicole Stroud.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Thanks very much for coming in, Nicole, and it's been a long time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a minute.
How many minutes are in a year?
Yeah, quite a while. Oh yeah.
I'll let you do the math in that one, though.
I'll get back with you on that next Halloween.
Right. It's roughly about Halloween's the last time we seen you. Last year.
Yeah, last year, because we done the Halloween spoof, and you were in that as Granny. So yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a while since I've done Granny.
You got her tucked away in the closet.
She's Granny's tucked away in a care home now. We did think of reviving her recently, but then we thought, she's like 97 now, bless her. So,
Yeah.
She's getting on. Her mouth is still as blue as it always was. But we decided no, but that was then. This is now. We'll move on to other stuff. But because we were in your wee video that we put together.
Mm.
And I didn't know it was you that was in the video.
Yeah, that was me twice. I was the guy, Bubba Hunter. I also played the girl who was investigating. I done all the parts. I was also clown because I had to put on the clown suit. Wow, I done the whole PLE with the Chaos Awaits. All that was me except for PLE's voice, which was a voiceover.
I was really well put together. Just saying about Mario, Laura, and Stephen. It was good to see being interviewed for a change on Hectic Paranormal. We had an interview this morning. Well, Steve's in Australia. With an Australian, two ladies in Australia that we had done a few weeks ago. These ladies are insane, in a good way.
Right.
So
it's always good.
we were on the other side of the cat. Sarah and I were on the other side of the camera this morning, and it was good. We really enjoyed it, but it was really different.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody interviewing us, because we've not done very many, swap around, and so for somebody to be asking us a question, but with a lot of lives that went off topic. I think we started. I can't remember. We started talking about, but it went kind of way off. Nothing to do with the paranormal. Paranormal was out the window,
That's usually how it happens, though.
It is, but I always find that's what makes a good live. You still take it serious, whatever, but it's laid back, and this is what I was talking about this morning. I said, you're laid back, and if it goes off topic, who cares? Party doing a live to me is, meeting teams, sharing experiences, knowledge, etc. But the other half of doing a live is just meeting people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Especially with the last year and a half, 2 years, with everything that's happened. It's good just to meet people and be able just to sit and talk rubbish, talk crap for an hour, Mario's saying you need to have a laugh, you need to blow off steam. There's a lot of channels out there and they're really no disrespect, but they're really serious and straight to the point and that, but you need to just be yourself, because as I said to girls, a lot of people think paranormal investigators are all kind of freaks or whatever, but it's normal people. Well, there are some out there that are, that kind of bend the rule, but But anyway, on with talking to you, Vale, that's why you're here, in fact, you know what I mean? So, as I say, I know I've met you before, but you've done a lot since we last spoke, and you've got your other channel going, so I'll let you tell folks about yourself.
Sure. A psychic medium. I'm the weird one that talks to people that no one else sees. I have been doing some investigative work with actual officers and stuff like that with code cases. Um, that's been really amazing. Um, wow, I'm trying to think where we have been. We do now have the Bigfoot Mountain where we're actually doing the Bigfoot hunts. You know, it puts me back in my nature of, you know, where I was born and raised in the Appalachian Mountains. And I really like being out there. Bigfoot challenges me. You know, paranormal, yeah, it does challenge me, but you know, I can see the spirits, I can hear them. You know, it's just proving that to you, which I still want to do. I just still love that aspect of, you know, through the veil. But I like being out there in the woods too. So, so we're out there now with Brenda Hawkins and her other half, which is actually a paranormal investigator, Hawk Paranormal. So they kind of got me into this, and NMB, and you know, quite a few others. So yeah, we're learning Bigfoots and we're doing paranormal. You never know. Soon we might be doing UFOs.
Well, you know, that's something we've never kind of touched on because we've never really been. No disrespect to anybody, you know, that's into it, but I do believe that there is something someday or whatever, you know,
Mhm.
elsewhere. But you
Right.
know, I don't get into the whole kind of no less one lands in my garden, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't have any problem with Bigfoot because I, you know, I have seen a puckwudgie and I hit something with my car one time that was unexplainable. So I'm thinking that there's those little creatures, and you know, my grandmother believed in the fairies and stuff like that, and I have seen brighter fire lights like fireflies. So, I mean, if there is that actual existence, is there things out there that we do not know? The paranormal, the unknown. So we're kind of trying to broaden our aspects a little bit.
mm-hmm. No, I think there is a lot. I mean, they talk about the oceans. I think it's 72% of the Earth's covered in water,
Hmm.
and you know, there's people saying that there's a lot of the areas of the ocean, or the Atlantic, Pacific, whatever, that have never ever been explored.
Hmm.
So you know, it's the same kind of aspect. Who knows what's down there?
Right. You could have mermaids. I mean, I think Gypsy Rose done one about mermaids here recently, just the other day. Do you believe in mermaids? I don't know about that one yet, but you never know.
But I kind of there's some things out there that I'll no name that you know I'm 100% don't be stupid. No, no chance. But I'm kind of open minded. You know,
Hmm.
anything's possible.
Right.
I say I do believe there are aliens, whether they're little green men with you know antennas and stuff. Who knows? They could look the same as us. You
Right.
know, you never know. So you've got both your channels running now. How do you divide your time between them?
Usually I'm doing them at the same time. We might be on a location that's really well known for, you know, spiritual activity, um, you know, and there might be a woods around it. So a lot of times when we are on these, you know, the TTVP spiritual investigations, we'll hear like woods, you know, knocking coming from the woods. Or we might actually catch eye shine or something if we're taking pictures of the house or wherever we may be. And we're like, well, there might also be Bigfoot here. So, you know, we'll go from one location just 50 feet away and do a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
So
just,
how do the two of them differ? Investigation wise, I know it might sound like a daft question, but obviously I'm not a Bigfoot and what have you. So, you know, you don't ask, you don't learn.
right. They do differ. I mean, as far as communication, you know, with spirits, you know, you can use lights. You can have that one-on-one communication, where you can actually get some kind of evidence. Now, I'm just getting into the Bigfoot, so you know, don't quote me on any of this. Um, you really can't talk to the Bigfoot. I mean, I have spoke Cherokee to him because you know my ancestors being Cherokee. You know, I tried that. You can give them offerings of food. You can try to catch them on camera. I understand they're elusive. I mean, they can cloak in and out, and they're just, you know, one of those things that you have to catch. If you can catch an eye shine or something like that, you might get a photograph of one, you know, in mid cloaking or something like that. But mostly out there in the woods, it's actually seeing when they're making their bedding or if a tree has snapped or, you know, you got to put two and two together. That's why I said it's challenging for me, because you got to think, well, is this Bigfoot and paranormal, or did an ice storm come through here about 3 years ago? You know.
As you need to kind of weigh it up, what kind of, I mean, and it's going to sound really stupid and ludicrous, but my image of Bigfoot, I don't know if you've ever seen the film Harry and the Hendersons.
Yes, I have.
That's my image of Bigfoot, you know, and I do apologise for any Bigfoot enthusiasts out there. I've been no means an expert on the subject. I've seen some photographs, you know, whether they were fake or no, I don't know. There's that famous one where there's one seems to be walking through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I hear the word Bigfoot, I think of Harry and the Hendersons.
Right.
You know.
Well, you know, with the Bigfoot community, I mean, you have fakers out there too, people in suits, as well as you have fakers in the paranormal, spiritual world. So,
Have you ever caught a faker? A Bigfoot faker?
Yeah.
Do tell.
Well, just put it this way, you can get suits really cheap around after Halloween time. And if it's dark outside and you're a big enough person, let's say, 6'5", 7 foot, big feller with, 300 pounds behind you, squeeze into one of these suits. It's a little tight, you can make some things look real.
So there is people who actually go out and fake being, put on a suit and kid on their Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's people fake the paranormal.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of along the same sort of lines, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, it's always going to be Harry and the Hendersons for me. It's. I mean, I know there's been stories about Bigfoot over here in Edinburgh and stuff like that, which is just, in my mind, it's just ludicrous. I doubt you get Bigfoot walking through Edinburgh.
Mm-hmm.
But, there is people, whatever, been out actually hunting for them in public parks. And I don't think Bigfoot, as I say, I'm no expert, but I don't think Bigfoot are the kind of animals or creatures, whatever you call them, to walk about a public park.
I think they can be where they want to be. I mean, but they're more of woodland protectors. They protect the animals of the woods, and they thrive on their privacy. So you're going to find them in more isolated thickets of woods than you would, I guess, a city park. But yeah.
Seriously, I saw Bigfoot footage where he was wearing a watch.
You want to know what time it was?
Maybe Bigfoot was visiting the Loch Ness Monster. Probably, I mean, people have faked that as well. Stephen saying the Loch Ness Monster.
Right.
People have, there's that famous photograph of Nessie that turned out years or decades later to be a fake.
Right.
But for years, people believed this photograph. I've been to Loch Ness many a time, and I've swam in Loch Ness. I used to drive the trucks, and I would park up at Loch Ness, overnight. And if it was a nice summer night, which is rare in Scotland, I went in for a wee swim now and again in Loch Ness, and I've never had my toes bitten or nothing.
Right.
I think there is something there, but is it a big dinosaur, like some people believe?
It's like they found the new prehistoric piranhas. I mean, there could be something out there hiding in a trench. Whether he's in Lake Michigan, I don't think so. But, and, that's why we made Bigfoot. Oh, it's over here, Bigfoot Mountain, because, we want to know the real of it, tracks, trying to find the real of it, not the fake part of it.
That's what we're all after, as in Nessie, they have done sonar readings in Loch Ness, and they've picked up, things that they're still not explained. They've trawled Loch Ness hundreds of times with the latest sonar gear and, all the toys and whistles. And they say they're picked up on certain readings that scientists can't explain.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's never ever been anything come out yet. Well, can't wait to listen to you all love and light. Thanks, Jesse. Seems to here in issue. We have I might pronounce this wrong, Stephen. If I do, I apologise. The bunyip. I don't know what a bunyip is. If Stephen can maybe use a wee comment just to let us know. I hope I pronounced that right.
That's a new one on me, Webb.
I think there's something everywhere, even on all the. I agree, Mario. To me, I mean, you think there are many planets and everything that are in the galaxy, the universe, whatever it is. There's got to be something.
Yeah.
You know, we're not the only ones here. You pronounced it right. Thanks very much. I got that right. The bunyip.
Yay! I wouldn't have got that right.
I just took a stab at it.
Good stab.
Yeah, you says you worked in cold cases. I've seen this on TV. You know, the crime documentaries and what have you, and they bring a medium, a psychic in. How does that? How does it work for you?
My psychic medium stuff. Is that what you're asking?
But no, when if you know, say the police come and say, right, we've got this case. It's 10 years old. You know, do you have a certain way that you go about trying to work the case, or?
Well, for me, I mean, they would give me a case file, and you know, I tell them many a time, I really don't want the case file. Just take me to where you think it has happened. If they don't know, then yeah, I'll look over the case file. But you know, usually for me, you know, I can see and hear, you know, spirits just as well as I hear and see you. So, you know, unfortunately, you know, if I have a photo of a person and I'm looking at them, that means that, you know, they have, you know, passed. But, you know, we can give that closure to the family. But for me, I mean, being able to speak to them, they can tell me the last person they were with or who actually done it. It's just proving those facts as they're coming to me, you know, and I'll tell the spirits, well, did you leave something behind, or is there a clue or something that we can actually, you know, commit these people to, that, you know, they were with you? And you know, we've done that on 3 cases. So
I have seen it quite a lot. They will bring a medium in and they'll take them to maybe a dumpster, you call it over there. You know, take them to a dumpster or whatever. I remember watching one particular, I can't mind her name, but this woman she'd worked in quite a few cases, and approached this woman with a case file and a photograph, and it was a young girl. And the woman saying, you know, she's definitely passed over, you know.
right.
She was murdered, sort of thing. And so they invited this woman onto a TV show, and she was getting interviewed with this woman, and the woman showed her the photograph and showed her, you know, do you recognise, you know, this young girl? And she says, yes, I worked this case recently. And she's passed over, and what have you. And the woman says, well, this photograph's me. That's me as a young girl. You know, and the woman turned and said, well, you never died.
Right.
I always remember it, you know, you didn't die. And the girl just sat and kind of looked at her, you know, well, I'm sitting here in front of you, so obviously I didn't die, you know. So I mean, I always remember that. Do you prefer that kind of line of work to doing your channel and stuff?
Oh yeah. I love it because, you know, that way I'm helping people. I also like to help spirits. Not only do people need help, but surprisingly, there are spirits that need things. You know, they got things left unfinished. There's people they want to contact that they need to say something. Sometimes I run across them that they just want things themselves. You know, I done a little. I was going to start doing these. I think I only done one. It's called the chair. It was a spirit, and all he wanted was his chair. And he was trying to get his voice across. You know, he said, you know, of all things I could have asked for, I asked for this stupid chair. So I had to do this little, you know, this little story voiceover thing of the chair. And it's amazing that, you know, that I can help spirits, I can help people. And I like to do that. Just give them a voice.
I know, you know, people often ask, you know, why do we get spirits? Why are they still hanging about? And one of the theories is unfinished business. You know? And do you think, like the case of a murder victim, you know, they've been taken away too early, you know, suddenly.
Mhm.
That after they get, you know, somebody like yourself that can let the family know, look, you know, they're okay, sort of thing. They're
Mhm.
still around. Do you think that kind of helps him pass on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure it helps. Then you get the ones that, and I run into this quite a bit. Um, and I don't really like to get churchy or spiritual on people, but it doesn't happen like some people think it should happen. And they get kind of lost along the way in the void. So, they don't find the light, is a lot of what people say. So they're just out there, wandering, lost of, you know, boom, I'm not where I'm supposed to be, how do I get from here to there? And there's a lot of those spirits out there too. And then you have the ones that choose to be here, after, so long, they get to see their family, or, I'm now spending the afterlife with my son that, died in a car accident or was shot or murdered or whatever. And they hang around together, still wanting to be, a family in, their home or their place. And we run around, with a lot of those spirits too.
I was talking, I can't remember who it was, I was talking to somebody the other day. In fact, I think it was a guy last night, Tim. Um, do spirits get a choice? Do they have the option whether they want to stay here,
Mm-hmm.
or are they only allowed here for a certain amount of time before it's time to, you know, go to the light, basically?
Mm-hmm.
You
We,
know,
we, we are given the choice of free will.
so you know, can hang about for forever, basically here, and
Mm-hmm.
wait on their other family members joining them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and one of the questions I actually asked the girls this morning: if you were a spirit and you did have the option to remain here, and you were given the choice to haunt somewhere, where would it be?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was
Right.
one of these silly, random questions that just popped up. You know, where would
Hey.
you choose to haunt? You know, so I'm going to ask you, Nicole, where
Oh,
would
no.
you haunt?
Oh, where would I want to be? Goodness. I really don't know. That is a good one. Mm, I guess you might find me haunting my grandmother's cabin in the Appalachian Cherokee Indian reservation. I mean, I loved it up there, so I don't know.
I don't know where I don't know where I'd haunt. I mean, there's a few people I'd like to haunt, but then it's
Yeah,
making that choice, you know, which one deserves it most. Kind of, you know, which
I have
one.
fun with them all.
Yeah, I've got a list, but you know, they want you know who's first in my kind of hit list.
They're right.
Um, but obviously we spoke before, long not a long time, last year and what have you. But there's quite a few people who's probably never seen you before.
Mhm.
So how did you get started in the paranormal? What the very first time you get into it?
Well, the first time I ever seen a spirit was when I was 5. Um, I had this old man. He used to come into my bedroom at night, and he would tell me about the farm that we were living on. He would tell me about the quail and the chickens and just things that you would normally do around a farm. And I always enjoyed his company. He'd come in late at night and he'd sit on the edge of my bed and we would talk and I'd fall asleep. It was just like a norm for me until I told my mother about him, and she had a freak out. But yeah, we ended up moving because she wasn't having no part of that, even though she did believe me. Because she believed my grandmother when my grandmother told her that I had a veil, um, meaning I could see through the spirit world. Thus the name is where that came from. So yeah, I've been seeing them since I was 5. So I didn't get into the channel until like I think we're getting ready to go on 2 years.
So that's no long before we can. Well, where are we? We about a year and a half. So
Yeah.
it wasn't actually too long. So how did it affect you growing up? I mean, you see these films, the kind of American films, and there's one girl in the
Hmm.
class who's different to everybody else, and nobody sits beside her in the cafeteria, and they throw eggs at her, and the usual kind of stuff.
yeah, it's like that. I try to have friendships, growing up. And actually, I had a friendship. It was just with a spirit ghost that I didn't know he was actually a spirit until, he always got on the bus with us. And one day, I was asking, my mother about the little boy that lives up the road. I was probably 14, 15. And she's like, there's no kids that live up the road. Really? Okay. um, Weirdly, our bus stops there. There has to be. But anyway, I didn't have her try to explain that one to me. But I was always the odd kid out. Even when I was out somewhere, I always see them. I see them just like people in stores, walking down the street. And back, in the day, you didn't know how to react. You're just, do I talk to them? Well, if you do, and you're with a bunch of your friends, then you become the weirdo, and no one wants to hang out with you. But yeah, I was always known as the odd child out. Yeah, they all thought I was weird. So I didn't have teenage friendships. I didn't have friendships until I was up into my late 30s.
All right. Sorry, I asked.
Yeah,
Late 30s. That's
yeah,
a long time. Not have any pals or the pals. We say he's got pals, but you sort of friends. But you do say, I mean, it's interesting what you say about the wee boy. That you
mhm,
didn't realise he was a spirit. Justin came in to say hello and share. Thanks, Justin, buddy. Well, I've mentioned this in the last few lives. I've been asked before, have you ever seen a ghost? And I
yeah,
said, well, to my knowledge, I haven't. You know, because who really knows what a ghost or a spirit looks like? There's all these different theories. The white.
right.
Well, you. Um, but you've got the white sheep with the holes in it. You've got the mist and the vapor, and
Mhm,
so many. But then you've got many accounts of people seeing dead relatives or whatever as
mhm.
solid as I'm seeing you, and as you seen that wee boy. So I mean, who's to say that if we're out in the street during the day, and there's a crowd of people, or who's to say one of these go a
Right,
spirit? We
right.
just
And
don't know.
there's many people that see them differently. Like for me, I see full body apparitions. They're a little more opaque than others, but I know some people that as far as male and female, some people say the females, they seem like they're kind of watery, but they can't really see them. Males seem more like a black shadowy figure. So everybody's seeing these spirits differently. So
Mhm. It's the same here. I mean, over here we got the white lady, the grey lady,
mhm,
the red lady. With different kind of colours of ladies, and each colour's meant to represent, a different way that they passed over or the life was. Do you have anything like that in the States? Like grey ladies, white ladies, sort
yeah,
of thing.
yeah, we get a few of those. The lady in white or the lady in red that haunts the saloon or something like that. Yeah.
You have them there as well. So all these spirits, that you see, has any of them ever totally freaked you out? You run 10 miles in the opposite direction.
I can't say not of yet. Now, when I was younger, I had the actual demon attack. They are real people. Um, that's about the only thing that freaks me out is when I know it's not a spirit. Of course, I can't see anything demonic or anything like that since then because I have been sort of blessed with a gift that I don't want to be gifted with. A friend of mine said you will never be harmed or see them again. So I don't have the ability to see them, but I see these things in the shadows that just totally freak me out that I know that they're inhuman in a way. So yeah, that's the only thing that freaks me out, not so much spirits. Spirits, they can be cantankerous and you just have to deal with them like anybody else having a bad day.
But that's it. Do you treat spirits what you treat as going to sound bad, a normal person? a person is still with us, because these spirits were children. Well, they were children, but they were, people at one point. But the demonic side, that we've never actually, covered the demon side, and we did. I will admit, we took part in a quiz last Friday with Andy Murphy, and Charlie Wilkes of the Haunted Hunts, and Andy was the quiz master, so we were up against Charlie and Wilkes, and we get trashed. Quiz-wise points, we were just,
Right.
I think we got 14 out of 50 or something like that, which wasn't really great,
Right.
wasn't something to be proud of, but at least we still got off the ground. I mean, the whole demon thing, I've always felt that there's a lot of groups and teams that jump on the demon word too quick.
Right. Way too quick. Because, I feel it like this. And, you hear a lot, we always make fun of it, demon this, demon that. But if you ever truly run into one, it will be something that you will not want to stay around for. Their whole intent is to instill fear, panic, anything like that. You're not going to stay around for it. If you have a real demon on your hands, try to get away from it. I mean, I have PTSD. I mean, this is something I have to deal with for the rest of my life because I dealt with one. I don't see everybody out here barking that this is a demon, this is a demon, that you got PTSD. If you ever really ran into one, you wouldn't be hanging around talking about it, that's for sure.
All right, go the other way. Lindsay's got a question for you, though. Hi, Lindsay. I hope you're still on the road to recovery, though. If you ever freak out that much, you shut down.
So, do you sometimes freak out that much? You shut down? No, I cannot say that I've ever. Well, I can't say I haven't shut down because of the attack when I was 15. I did close that off from me. I did not, no longer go out to the cemeteries and enjoy speaking to the spirits like I wanted to until I was in my late 20s when I had my children. So I did kind of shut it off there for a while. But here recently, I've just, embraced it, and it's going to be what it is. I have my protection, I have my faith. So I'm just out there, hey, let's do this. We want to prove, whether it's bad or good, that it does exist.
Mm. But the whole demonic thing, I think too many people jump on it if they get a grumpy spirit or something. If you get a person in life who's maybe the grumpy old man that lived down the street,
Yep.
In the flesh, well, when he passes over, he'll still be, no doubt he'll still be that grumpy old man. But a lot of times people think, oh, well, that's demonic, and they're bringing the crosses and the bath water and everything out. The bath water, holy water, no bath water. What the hell I say bath water for? They're bringing the stuff, they're bringing the armory out, basically. And, and I think a lot of TV shows are to blame for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like one case that we had that, I was involved with, officers. And, the guy that actually asked me to come, we were kind of, friends. And he's like, before this goes too far, he said, I want you to meet this lady because her children's not sleeping. They're doing bad in school, and they're, they think it's like a children family services kind of deal. But, they're having a lot of problems at home. They're saying that, there's demons in their house and this and that. And he goes, I want to be on the sure before, we talk this lady up for being crazy. So I agreed to it. And it took her a minute to let me in and, speak to me, but she was open to it. She's like, if anybody can help me, she said, I don't care. Somebody's going to help me. And it took me 3 minutes to be in that house. And there was like an old chair, there next to the wall in the stairwell. And there was an old man sitting there and he was just rocking. And you could tell in his eyes, his arms crossed, his posture, he was just peeved with everybody. And I was like, well, I found your problem. And she goes, what is it? She said, how bad is it? She said, is there a demon in my house? I said, no, there's not a demon in your house. I said, you have a grumpy old man in your house. So
But
it literally, I mean, I sat her down with the spirit down. We had like this Dr. Phil moment between her and the spirit. But anyway, we got the children where, they had a certain time to be quiet for him. I said, this is still his home. He sees it as his home. Y'all are disrupting him as he's disrupting you. We end up giving him a room of his back to him. She put a 1950s bed in there, put some watches, stuff that old men would like. And she put his name on the door, and they never had a problem since. They learned to live together. And I tell everybody, I said, you realize, you get these old homes and, oh, they're wonderful. You also have to realize it's someone else's home, possibly, too. So
that's it. Steve says the bathwater. I hope they do throw the baby out with it as well.
yeah. I don't know. Might be some stinky bath water might work.
Some we don't have a bath. We've got a shower. I actually talked to the girls this morning about that. When people give you gifts for Christmas and stuff. I think it's before we went live, but folk give you bath bombs and you don't have a bath. You get a shower, so you need to just throw them at the shower or so. I don't know what you do with a bath bomb in the shower.
Yeah.
No idea, but you get bath bombs. So I don't have a bath, it's a shower. You just
They got the shower steamers now that, yeah.
I just sit in the floor and run about in it or something,
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I know what you mean about an old house, and there's people lived there before and they were very attached to it.
Right.
And somebody else comes in and totally renovates it.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's like yourself, if you get your house, if somebody came into your house and you came home for work and somebody's come into your house and moved your kitchen,
yeah,
you'd be like that.
I'd be peeved.
Exactly, and it's it's a kind of the same thing, and I think that kind of attachment to a building goes on,
Mm-hmm.
For many years. So we just recently finished doing a series in a place called Caldwell, and we picked up on the house itself dates back to 1773, and it was built by a family called the Muir family, and one of the members was called John. And we picked this guy up, John, up during our investigations. We picked up the name John. We also picked up a woman, and we've had this validated, but she seemed to be kind of controlling. And one of the clips we've got, we had it broken down, and you can hear it's basically two of them disagreeing with each other. If she's telling him what to do, and he's kind of, I was lord and master of this house, sort of thing. And it gets done. You don't hear the exact words, but that's the feeling that you get. And I think it's the same with old buildings, hotels,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts. You get people who love that building. You come in, move their kitchen, and they're not happy.
Right. You'll find out a lot of people that'll say, well, we got this old house and we started doing some renovating and boom, all of a sudden their house is haunted. No, your house has always been haunted. You just started messing with their stuff.
I mean, we were talking about small, we've got 2 or 3 spirits in here. We've had bits and pieces happen in here that we just can't explain. One of the most common things is we'll be sitting on the bed and you'll feel the mattress getting depressed, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes after it's been the wee one or one of the cats, but you turn around and you're expecting to see your daughter or a cat,
Mm-hmm.
but there's nobody there, but you still feel the mattress kind of going down. So we've got 2, maybe 3 in this house, but they don't bother us. To say things happen, occasionally we'll see, I've saw it twice, a wee glimpse of a shadow or a figure or something just flying by the door tonight. And they don't bother us, we don't bother them.
Yeah, a lot of people can live in harmony, with the spirit. I mean, just respect each other. I mean, I had that haunted house that I lived in, and of course I was lucky enough I got to see them, but yeah, I'm fixing these people, dinner and breakfast and, how you doing today? And,
You end up talking to them.
Yeah.
I used to live myself, and I'd my own flat or apartment, as you call it. And there was things happened in the apartment, like the TV remote getting moved, get moved the TV into the bedroom. Sounds absurd, but it did. My house keys ended up going from the front door on the coffee table. I had a load of Buddhas in the house. I would come in. I was quite OCD with my Buddhas,
Mhm.
and I'd come in and I'd noticed maybe one had been moved round, kind of slightly, sort of thing. And then one night I was sitting watching the TV in my kitchen bin. The lid came flying off, and I kind of lost the rag a wee bit. So I was trying to watch a film, and I was like, "Would you just back it? Just stop. I'm watching a film." And it was after that I started to, I lived alone, and I'd come in from work and I'd tell them about my day,
Mhm.
or if I was going to work, I'd say, right, I'm going to work. I'll see you when I come home. If you were
Right.
talking to the wife or something. And people would probably think, everybody outside would probably think, that guy's insane. He walks about his house talking, you know.
But you'd be surprised, spirits need that interaction. I mean, imagine, I couldn't even imagine if I was a spirit and, no one could hear me, no one could see me. And, you thrive for that interaction that you used to have. And for someone to speak to you,
Mm-hmm.
that'd be amazing. That's why I
Yeah.
talk to them.
As you say, these spirits have got eternity, and if nobody talks to them, and I think one of the main things about what spirit is wanting is just acknowledgement.
Hmm. Pretty
You
much.
know, no, every spirit, there are some bad spirits out there with other
Right.
intentions, but the majority, and this is just my opinion, they're like kids. They
Hmm.
just want that. You know what kids like if you don't give them attention?
Right. They're going to act out or, you know,
They're
they're
going
going to
to
cause some kind of chaos.
do something that's going to annoy you, you
Hmm.
know. So to me, a spirit's the same. If you acknowledge that they're there, that's all they're at. And that's why I started talking to I don't think I gave him my name. I don't think I did, but that's why I started talking to the spirit in the house, because to me, it was just wanting to know that
Hmm.
I knew he was there,
Yeah.
and as you say, you done the exact same. So I'm not the only nutcase in the paranormal field, you
No,
know, that talks to an empty house. You know,
I talk to empty houses all the time. You're all right.
I was only one. I don't talk to them in here. Maybe I should start talking to them in here. It
Yeah,
was just
then you might be missing your keys next time.
it was bizarre because I had a habit. It was my dad that drummed it into me. You put your key in the front door and you turn it 1/4 to the left. My dad used to say, and I used to say to him, "Why?" He said, "Well, if somebody's trying to get into your house, they can put a stick or something through the keyhole and poke your keys out. But if you turn your key, they can't get the key out." I thought, well, there's logic there.
Right.
Listen, he's passed on, but there was some kind of logic to it, I suppose. And so he drummed it into me for years. And so it was something I always done. And every day when I went home, even if I was going into the house and, back out maybe an hour later, I always locked the door. It was a habit. And one morning I was going to work and the keys weren't in the door. And I thought, no. Now I lived myself, so I knew nobody had moved them.
Hmm.
And I was looking at it, and then I found them in the coffee table in the living room. And I told people in work, and they said, "No, you must." I says, "No, I wouldn't do that. I've no reason to lock my front door and then go put my keys in the living room."
Right.
And I'm not saying it was paranormal. It was just one of these things that I couldn't explain. But I know
Good that
myself,
stuck with you.
I know myself that it happened. Like the TV remote I found halfway underneath my double bed in the
Hmm.
bedroom. I just happened to. There was about a foot gap or something between my bed and the floor, and it was just I'd been hunting everywhere for this remote, down the side of the sofa. I couldn't find it, and then I just happened to catch a glimpse of this black thing underneath the bed, and I said, kind of what's that? And I looked down, it was a TV remote.
Hmm.
I thought, and again, I told people about it, and they said, "No, it was yours." About why would I put my TV remote halfway underneath my bed when when it should be in my living room at the other end of the house? You know, it's these. I think this what makes the paranormal interesting. That it's all these wee bits and pieces that you can't explain.
Right. It's like with that too. A spirit, will do little quirky things like that. And it takes a lot of energy for a spirit to do something. But if they're doing something like that, they want some kind of acknowledgement. So yeah, they can be quirky. It's fun.
And, hi, Martin, buddy. You're all right. You're forgiven for being late, buddy. You're all right. Um, but then sometimes you've probably seen it yourself, Nicole. You
Mhm.
get the teams that antagonize spirits,
Yes,
or
that highly makes me upset.
try to try to goad them, kind of thing.
Hmm.
You just answered my question then, dog, because I was going to say, what's your opinion on, trying that tactic?
Well, there is positive, provoking, and then there's just rude. Positive provoking is something like I would do. Well, I'm going to take back my toys if you don't speak to me. You know, no intentionally. I'm probably not going to do that, but positively. The bad provoking, that what gets me. And I actually was watching a well-known program on TV, and they were trying to get this lady out of her home. It was a spirit, and I bawled through it because I could see her over there, and she physically upset, and they're screaming at her in curse words. This ain't your house. You don't belong here. This it's horrible, 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 and they're just yelling at her, and she's just sitting there in distraught. My husband built this home for me. He used that last every penny that he had, and I just bawled and lost it. I'm like, that is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Aye,
Hmm.
that is real. I mean, I admit I've done it myself way back when we first started. Listen to
Hmm.
me, way back. I think I've been doing it for years. Not actually, I done it in Greyfriars with you, because you know all about Greyfriars. Um, you should know about. You do know about Greyfriars, don't you?
Hmm.
Ah, good. The famous Mackenzie poltergeist that's said to wander there. And one night we were investigating. This is before we found out investigation were banned there. And you're in Greyfriars, the most haunted graveyard, Kirkyard, sorry, in the world, reported to be. So you're expecting some action,
Right.
you know. And there was one night we were at the Mackenzie tomb and we were getting nothing. And I started, you were a big man in life, you're not such a big man in death, You killed you murdered all these Covenanters, 18,000, I think it was 18,000 people they basically executed. But you're nothing, you're absolutely nothing, And I was starting to get a wee bit carried away with myself. And I
Hmm.
just, woof, you know. Time out. But then I thought, no, and as you see, you were watching a TV program, and that's where I noticed it as well. These TV programs and they're pointing the fingers and
Hmm.
all sorts of things. That's just going to pee the spirits off.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you're not.
then people wonder why they get scratched or how they get hurt. Uh, you come in there screaming at me like that, something's going to happen.
That's it. I mean, in real life, if somebody came up and screamed right in my face, I'd
Mhm.
punch them right in the mouth.
Right.
You know, and a spirit's no any different. Mark's got a big comment up. Um, I think if you have a past Nancy spirit has been trying to scare or show aggressive nature or something, it doesn't like women, then I don't think it's too bad. But I also start respectful.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's fine, buddy. It doesn't matter the length of your comment. We have had comments before where our guest is kind of, if we've had more than two in the panel, and
Hmm.
you've got a guest on the bottom of the screen. Sometimes we've had comments, and you put in your bottom guest kind of disappears behind the
Right.
comment. You see the top of their head kind of thing for there kind of up. But have you ever encountered spirits? We certainly have that would rather talk to women or would rather talk to men.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know,
Um, I think it happens a lot with our younger spirits. Some of the younger, the girls, you think like daddy's girls. It seems like the little girls want to talk to the guys. It seems like the little boys want to talk to, the girls. And then you have, even with, we have one spirit that, she's scared of guys, period. I mean, something happened to her, I won't disclose, but she would rather, talk to female spirits. So, it's just like, they're human after all. They're just missing what I call the meat suit. So, they have their preferences of who they want to talk to.
Mm-hmm. You hit it right in the head. That's exactly what I say. I don't call it the meat suit, but that's an unusual term for it. That I always say that when we pass over, die, whatever word you want to use, that we take, the only thing we don't take is the body. That
Hmm.
stays here. Everything else goes away. So you see that young girl spirit had a
Hmm.
bad experience, in physical life, which is unfortunate, obviously, but it stays with them, you
Right.
know, to the other side, and so they are kind of weary, I would say. And then I mean, Laura in our team, she'd her bum felt at an investigation one night. She was sitting in a chair and she jumped up, and we kind of looked at her and said, "Somebody just squeezed my butt cheek."
Yeah.
And it was the one who, I can assure you, all her hands were in sight. But she somebody just, butt cheek a wee squeeze. I thought, well, there you go, Laura. You're on to that one, not me.
Yeah.
Stephen's asking, um,
Do I
do
have
you
any
have any
rituals?
rituals before and after an investigation?
I don't know if you call them rituals. Of course, I am religious, so I do say my little internal prayers and stuff like that. And afterwards, if I feel like if it was a very negative uh, environment, like the energy there was negative, then I will come home and I will do a ritual salt bath, just to get that negativity off me, so I don't carry it around and wash it down the drain.
A salt bath, I've never heard of a salt bath. I've heard of a salt bath for, medical reasons, women stuff and that. I've heard of salt baths doing it that way. Bad experience that made me think twice with provocation. Laura's saying that was the scariest thing ever. Don't let her kid you, Nicole. Laura's the one that got her butt cheek squeezed. Don't let her kid you. It wasn't scary. I seen the smile on her face. I was there.
Oh well.
When she jumped up, she was smiling. When
I've heard of spirits being, kicking people in the butt. I, I think someone actually got a lap dance from a spirit one time. It was caught on SLS camera. So yeah, they can do some weird things.
a, a lap dance from a spirit.
Yeah.
No, that's a new one to me. I'm only kidding Laura about the smile, but I don't want Laura getting upset. She lives about 5 minutes away from us, so she
Hmm.
could come down here heavy-handed. I've never heard a spirit giving a lap dance.
Yeah. That I know of, the team was in like a bordello setting where things like that happened, and the investigator was, sitting back on the couch. The other person had the SLS, and they were asking questions, about what had happened in there, and you could actually, see the stick figure, go over his lap and was, giving him a lap dance. It was pretty obvious what this stick figure was doing, and I'm just like, yeah, wow.
That's
Ooh.
that. I mean, I've heard a lot of weird stuff. You've heard all these reports about men and women saying that they've had intercourse with a spirit, stuff like that.
Hmm.
But I've never heard of a lap dance. I suppose it depends on what they were like or their job was. And
Hmm.
maybe they were a lap dancer for a living. Well, it's certainly a kind of sort of weird thing. So you've moved back home,
Hmm.
back to your roots. How
Yep.
often can I know you have got the pandemic over there as well? How's that? How did that affect you with your investigating and your Bigfoot mountain stuff? How did that affect your
Well,
routine?
you know, For me, it wasn't, too bad because we don't do a lot of, the big commercial haunts. I mean, we have been to Moundsville and some of these, bigger places, that got closed down. But we have other resources. We have haunted private bridges and haunted woods and haunted trails and cemeteries and graveyards. And, we were able, to stay out there and stay doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we kind of stayed away from people. Our group is small. Me and my daughter. There's only two of us, and now we have been out with Hawk Paranormal and a few others, but we kept it to the minimum, as they said, 2 and 4, and making sure everybody's not sick when we do go. So it hasn't been really that bad.
Because you have done a lot. As I said at the start, it's been a year, since we had you on. But
Mhm.
also you've got your YouTube channels and what have you, and I've watched quite a lot of your videos. Your Mississippi ones are still my favourite, but I'll admit I think there was three of them you done, am I right? Hopefully I'm right.
Yeah, Ghost in Mississippi. I think there was three or four.
They were still my favourite ones. And Emery's no watch going to YouTube and it's Through the Veil Paranormal.
Hmm.
That right?
Uh-huh.
Give her channel a wee look up and a wee sub,
Hmm.
because she's been at it a long time and I've watched a lot of her stuff and it is really, really worthwhile. But your Mississippi ones, did you ever? I think, correct me if I'm wrong. There was you picked up in a kind of male spirit there who was
That
dead
that
at
was
night.
a male, and there was also a female.
Mhm.
We were pretty adamant. I was pretty sure that there was a body down there. It even became more evident. Someone had watched the video, and my neighbor, questioned me about it, and they told me to pretty much leave that alone if I knew what was good for me. So that kind of confirmed things with me there, and I kind of left it at that. I did go to an officer about it, and they were looking into it. Now whatever became of that, I don't know, but that's why that Ghost in Mississippi did stop.
Because the male spirit presence, whatever you want to call it, did seem
Hmm.
quite
Hmm.
negative and overpowering kind of
Yeah,
thing.
he was just very adamant that he was trying to get our attention. This is what happened. This is what happened. And when the neighbor did come and talk to me, he let me know that there was a young boy that's been missing for quite a while in the area, and he kind of knew about what I was talking about and would just tell me to leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. I was Martin's asking about the Bigfoot. What's the best evidence of the Bigfoot?
What's the best evidence of the Bigfoot? For me, I mean, like I said, I've only got like 3 videos out there right now on Bigfoot. But I mean, if I actually seen, tracks, actual tracks, I have also noticed that you can see their whenever they're doing the cloaking, you can actually still see them within water. So a lot of my videos, you'll see me, I'm still panning across the water because, they stay around water, wooded areas. So, I'm actually looking in that water for a reflection. I actually have, you know, I think I did catch one. There's eye shine. Whenever I took the video and I put a lot of light to it, which distorted it horribly, but it looked like a big old noggin. It looked like a big monkey head. This thing had to been 8 foot tall, but yeah, I mean, I don't want I want to catch something better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really intriguing.
Because I do believe. So I mean, you said that this is going to sound stupid, but anybody who watches our lives will know by now that I do sometimes ask stupid questions.
Oh, they're not stupid.
Or sometimes I've asked questions, and you've ever been in that situation where you've started to ask a question and you realise halfway through it that it's a stupid question, but you can't stop because you started, so you need to finish the question. And then you think, you know, it's just one of the things. And it's like saying something really stupid. I mean, for example, yesterday we've got one of the Alexas. You
Mhm.
get, you talk to it, and I use it a lot for my cooking. And
Right.
yesterday, um, I went into it, says, Alexis, set the timer for 1 hour, right? And she says, timer set for 60 minutes. And I turn around and says, no, not 60 minutes, 1 hour. And then I realised, it was Sarah that says, what you just said, and then I realised what I just said,
Right.
60 minutes is an hour, obviously.
Right, Corey.
That's just a bit of useless information. Sorry. I forgot my question. Aye, you were saying about cloaking. Is that kind of camouflaging or?
Well, they, and I say they because, like I said, NMB and a few of the other cryptid channels that I've been kind of getting into with. I'm not a Bigfoot expert whatsoever. I understand that they had this cloaking ability. If anybody's ever seen the movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, I mean, I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Okay, so they're kind of like the Predator. They have that cloaking ability, so they can hide and they can move from place to place.
So, like, another silly question. Kind of like a kind of chameleon sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that they hide within the nature because they're very private creatures.
See, I would like that ability. Not that I hide from many people. I don't hide from many people, but I think that'd be great. You could stand against a tree and become the tree. Just like that, and jump out and scare people. I think that'd be
camo.
I think that'd be absolutely fantastic. Just you become a building with that. You can't see me. I'm invisible.
Right. You use your camouflage just right. That you can make that happen. I have watched some of these videos, and the guys, are in the camo gear. It's actually like a hunting thing. It's like, do you spot him? And you're sitting there looking and looking and looking, and realize he's right in front of you because you see like the top of the compound bow. I'm like, holy wow,
I've seen in movies sometimes, the military movies and stuff, like Sniper or whatever it was, and the camera's panning round and panning round, and even though you're watching a film, you are trying to find the guy, and then you see the wee kind of puff of dust or something, when the bullets came through. Martin says, but do you think that could be ETS and Bigfoots are just great with environment like big cats? I don't know what ETS means, so.
They're talking like aliens, right? Extraterrestrials. ET, yeah. Do I think they could be ETs? I just think they have this special ability. Every cryptid has their thing. Like I said, I'm not a Bigfoot expert, but I think they're a little more advanced than jaguars or cougars or anything like that.
Just when you said the word expert, I know, and it's something that really grinds me, as it does a lot of people I've spoke to, and people say, they're an expert in the paranormal.
There is no experts in paranormal. I call them seasoned.
But do you get Bigfoot experts? Or is there such a thing?
I think it should be the same everywhere. I think we're always learning. So I don't think there should be an expert in anything. I think we're always learning. So therefore, some have a little more acknowledgement and know-how than others because they've been in the field longer. That's why I said I call them seasoned. There's no expert in nothing. You're constantly learning. You're constantly learning something new. There's always some new technology going to come out there,
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. I've heard quite a few people say I'm an expert in the paranormal, and you think, do you know what? Go and blow it out your beep beep. It's no.
I've been at this 30+ years, and there ain't no way I'm an expert.
Yeah, Mary's saying the exact same thing. You can get people who are more, but it's the same everything in life. You get people who are more experienced at a certain thing, and so they can advise you. Don't do it that way. Try it this way.
Right. It's like with a doctor. Some doctors have they've tried different things and know different things, and they have a little more know-how. It doesn't mean that they're actually better than the next doctor. It's just
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I've been told that I don't go about investigations the correct way,
mhm,
but to me, there is no right or wrong way
mhm.
to do an investigation.
As long as
You
you
know,
get evidence and you're respectful, I mean, there isn't a right and wrong way to.
it's these people that come out and say, no, you totally done that the wrong way. That's just not right. I think, well, what
Mhm.
is what is the right way? As you say, Nicole, as long as you're getting I mean, we've tried the various experiments and nothing, they've no worked, as no doubt you have as well.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
someone even come to me and says, "Oh, well, you didn't close your investigation by saying that they can't follow they can't connect to your equipment, blah blah blah." I was like, "Let me tell you this: they're human, okay? If someone tells me that I can't go home with you and you can't see me, I'm gonna do it anyway." So,
uh, you're good. I mean, I mean, I do. I always say, you don't have our permission to attach yourself, blah blah blah. But before I done that, I used to actually just say it in my head, not say it out loud.
mhm,
Um, but I used to just kind of say it in my head, if I was leaving the graveyard or wherever it was. Say, thanks for talking to us. You need to stay here, kind of thing, and that was it. Um, End of story. But no, I was told indirectly that I was doing experiments and investigations wrong, and you think, yeah, try to put a sort of comment up there. It's there. I think sometimes people are not well to accept anyone's way. It's when people willing to learn and experience.
mhm,
Yeah. Aye, exactly, and it does annoy me because I mean, see, we're no. I've been into paranormal for over 30 years, but we only started investigating. It wasn't long before we met yourself,
mhm.
and before the second lockdown here, which was around about July, August time, and we maybe had 4 or 5 investigations under our belt.
Right.
And I'll be honest, when we first went investigating, we didn't have a clue. You know, I'm, I'm not ashamed to sit and admit it, but we knew, and we just, we knew I think we knew with a camera and a torch,
Mhm.
and that
Yeah,
was it.
yeah. It's like when we got started, we had two cell phones and one of those nanny cams.
Mm. With
So
a
yeah.
phone as well. Just to say cell phone. And, we went to Greyfriars and we didn't know our, excuse the French, our arse for our elbow, basically.
Mhm.
You know. Um,
You'd be surprised. I like watching some of those new investigators because you know they're so real about it. I'm not saying that I'm faking any way, but it seems that after you've been there for a while, you start using the same techniques, um, and it just seems like well they're going to use the necro on this and they're going to do this, this, and this instead of trying to those new ones. I mean, just watching their new places and their new experiences and things like that. Those people fascinate me.
Aye, as you say, if you've been at it a long time and you're doing the same thing, and you see newcomers, newbies, whatever you want
Hmm.
to call them, and they've maybe thought of something that you've no, doesn't mean to say they're any better than you,
Right.
because nobody's any better than anybody else.
They just figured out something cool.
Aye, it just means that they've come up with something different. I mean, for instance, a few months ago, we bought ourselves a compass. And it was Sarah's idea just to buy a compass. It didn't work. We're still going to keep trying it, but it didn't work. And somebody says to me, I think it was Jim Martin, the Spirit Realm, says, that was actually a good idea. I'd never thought of using a compass.
Mhm.
And this guy's got years of experience, whereas we've maybe just about a year and a half. So it doesn't mean to say that that person's better than you. It just means that
Mhm.
they've thought of something that
Yeah.
you never have. Maybe because you become, I don't like to say, kind of set in your ways.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know,
I like to learn from everybody, and I always tell everybody in the paranormal community or anywhere, collaborate together. I mean, if you went to somewhere and I'm getting ready to be there, then oh, talk to this person, or she's really good with this equipment. If you don't have it, this is what you need. And, that way we could all work together to prove something.
Mm-hmm. Aye. I mean, we done a live last week because one of an investigation we done, I sent I think it was a 2 or 3 minute recording away to Andy Murphy, who broke it all down, and he mailed me and says, "You don't realise how much you've got here." So we'd like 22 individual files on it, and we
Mhm.
done a live about it last week. And as I said on the live, it's not because we're wanting to boast or brag, look what we've got here. It's because if you get good evidence or 90% concrete evidence that you
Mhm.
can't debunk, then share it.
Right.
Let other people hear it. And it's like yourself, Nicole, with audio. We might have, you could be sitting watching our live and you could hear something totally different to us.
Hmm.
You know, um, everybody's got their own kind of preference. I feel like sometimes, well, if it works for you, why not? But still experiment with any ideas. Do you agree with that, Nicole?
I feel that sometimes I do. Why not? I still experiment with any ideas. Yeah, experiment with any ideas. I mean, we're actually thinking about going and getting one of those Simon Says.
What
You know,
side was that?
it, it's a it's a little colored light game, and Simon will, the computer within it will do like a color sequence: blue, green, red. Well, then you push the buttons: blue, green, red, and
Oh,
it,
right.
yeah.
Aye. It
So
looks like a kind of spaceship.
yeah,
Aye. Are they still selling them?
yeah, they're still selling them for like $20 at Walmart.
At $20, that's right. See, I'm getting used to American currency because see, Andy, he moved over there about 3 months ago. So
Uh-huh.
he's always telling me the prices of things and I
Uh-huh.
kind of work it out in my head. So $20 is like maybe 15, £16 over here.
I think so.
I had them when I was a kid. Well, not when I was a kid, but a kind of teenager, they came out. I can't mind, but if anybody's watching for the UK, if you can remember what we call them over here, the spaceshipy thing I called it, I need to press the button. Jeez, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe the spirits can manipulate it or repeat it in some way. I'm willing to try anything. And it's just like with, I think it was Geeked Up Paranormal, the uh, the Jacob's ladder, the electric thing. He actually got one of those balls that you touch and the electricity goes to your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got one of those, and seeing if if a spirit touches it, if the electricity will like go to their fingers or something. So that
I
was
like
pretty cool too.
the thing you had in school that everybody
Hmm.
dreaded touching,
Yeah.
and your hair would stand. Well, I had hair in school, believe it or not, so my hair did stand up then. I wouldn't stand up now, but I did do it back then.
Right.
Martin, he's saying it was Simon Says over here. I thought it was a different name.
Simon Says,
What?
what about a keyboard?
What about using a keyboard?
Yeah, we have tried, like, if there's a regular piano on investigation, can you play this piano? But we've not tried like the electric keyboards. No. Hmm, yeah, the plasma ball. Yeah, that's right, Marty.
I like the cat balls. I've never been a fan of tech, but recently I've grown quite fond of the K2 meter. You know,
Yeah, I can't ever get that thing to work for me. I still try it, but
I mean, we tried the compass, it didn't work, but we're going to keep trying it. But I mean, the K2 meter, I always thought, if not, it's crap, and I'm not a tech person, but we've get quite a lot of responses off it, so I'm quite a wee fan of it now. The plasma ball,
yeah,
um, oh, the thing, the sticky uppy hair thing,
yeah.
right?
It's I don't think that'll actually cause your hair to stick up. It's more like lightning in a bottle. It's like this little ball, and you touch it, and the electricity will, the lightning will go towards your fingers. Yeah.
I know what you mean. No, like crystal ball sort of thing.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that.
I'm thinking of something totally different. It was a big metal dome they got in
Yeah.
school, and it was
You're thinking more like the Tesla coil. Well, no, the Tesla coil would be the plasma ball. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We used to.
you used to
I,
stand and put your hand on it, and your hair would go whoosh. You know,
this is probably why our brains are fried today. All the stuff they used to do to me. Tesla, yeah.
that's it. I mean, at school they used to electrocute you. You know, what I mean, that's illegal now. You know,
Touch
well,
this, see what happens.
uh, that's electric. Put your hand on it and see what happens. You really that. You know, you'd be arrested for that now and locked up. You know.
They were trying to get rid of us.
What did your teacher do today? He electrocuted me.
Yeah, right. Some parent be down to school trying to sue somebody.
But my hair stood in end, mum, so it's okay. You know what I mean? It's just Van der Graaf,
Yeah.
a Van der Graaf generator. So, what does the future hold for you? What you got? I know Christmas and New Year's coming up, and you'll be taking a breather like most of us will be doing.
Yeah.
The,
We're taking a big breather.
we used to stick compasses in sockets. Well, that would work as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
that would certainly do the job. So you take time out at Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, I think after I had to see when our last live is toward Christmas. We are actually going to hibernate Christmas through New Year's. Now I think New Year's we are doing just a video drop. It's for recognition of bullying on paranormal YouTube. It's going to be throughout the whole YouTube community about keeping it real. We're all going to drop at the same time, so it's going to be, viral throughout YouTube. Hopefully, that's going to be our only drop. We've been doing Manic Members Lives on Monday, which gives all of our members, out in the community, what have y'all been doing? We show some of their videos. Wednesday, we do Where the Dead Speak. It usually is keyed toward the paranormal, the psychic medium kind of stuff. On Thursdays, we do just regular family night, and we share anything and everything that anybody wants to talk about. But that's all probably going to come down as far as, Christmas through New Year's. We are going to be MIA.
That's weird. Do you? I'll look out for that video on YouTube billing.
Mhm.
We actually got accused of that doing that last year. We get accused of being bullies. This clown, basically,
Yeah.
all the guy was. He's just a kind of one of these guys that likes his sympathy and stab anybody in the back. Yeah, but we got accused of bullying last year by a clown. We done it through a video. They didn't actually come face to face, or he would have come up on your panel and say, done a wee video about it. We'd bullied them. We'd only been running a few weeks, but we'd bullied them. So I'd be interested to see that video. Man's asked you, have you had snow? I suppose you think it affects the results.
Um,
That's a good question, actually.
it doesn't snow here.
It doesn't snow in Appalachia, the mountains.
Not where I'm at. It does snow in the upper Appalachians, Virginia over in there, but I'm more toward coastal North Carolina way. So, I mean, if it does snow, it's like a dusting and it's gone the next day. So,
There's not this. Sorry, no, that's right. No, you don't apologise, Martin, buddy. It's
oh, you're
it's
fine.
you don't ask, you don't get. It's how it's all part of the learning process with asking. We're hoping for. Well, I'm hoping for snow. Sarah's not.
Mhm.
I think England and up further north in Scotland get hit with the snow, but we've had nothing.
I do not like snow. I don't do cold. We had that discussion. I mean, even though I was raised with the Indians, I don't know.
You should be living in teepees and stuff, you know, fancy living in a teepee and whatever, you know. Too
I
cold.
I don't know how they done it. I mean, I would freeze to death. I mean, maybe I just become too cultured. I don't know. It's just no, running around
They,
in your thong underwear, freezing to death. No.
they got the, you know, they got the buffalo skins and, you know, big
Yeah.
fire in their teepees and whatever. So I dare say they kind of kept warm, but no, I'm hoping just for, we've not had snow since, I don't know, quite a few years. Can't mind the last time we had an actual white Christmas here.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping for just a wee bit of um, snow. Yeah, love snow. I think it makes things very quiet so you can hear a lot more.
Hmm.
You see, I would never think of that, but that is a good point.
I don't know. I've been in some pretty quiet woods, unless there's leaves on the ground. Then you have a lot of crunching. Uh, yeah,
Um,
we have sand. That's nice and quiet.
I,
Yeah, my grandmother, she had a lot of deer fur, blankets and stuff like that. They wore the fur lined moccasins out of animals and stuff like that. In the summertime, you actually just took the fur off and it was just the leather. Um, but in the wintertime, you turned it wrong side outwards and the fur was actually on the inside. Your coats and your mufflocks and stuff like that.
I mean, I've always imagined the Appalachian. How can I not say that word? I've always imagined the mountains, you know, and they're covered in snow and what have you.
Yeah.
That's just the image I get. So where you are, it's nothing like that.
No, I'm actually, further toward, on the foothills, not the Smoky Mountains, those areas are really deep in snow at certain times of year. But yeah, I'm more down here, coastal, the end of the foothills.
I think you get a lot of activity in the actual mountains.
Hmm.
I'm going to use that word. I'm not an expert, but I think the mountains would be interesting
Oh
um,
yeah.
to investigate. But you know, not just for a day. I think you'd need to spend maybe a week or something, maybe camping out if
Oh
it's
yeah.
not too cold for you. That
Yeah.
is um, camping out and doing investigations at daytime and nighttime. This is one thing that we got asked this morning, and just before we wind up, I'll ask you, Nicole. You get most paranormal teams prefer to investigate at night,
Hmm.
you know, because it's quieter, less traffic, people, etc.
Right.
Do you think it makes any difference apart to take the noise aspect out of it? Do you think it makes any difference whether you investigate at night or during the day?
Oh no. If a place is haunted, it's haunted. I mean, spirits are going to be there day or night. They just with getting back to residential hauntings and stuff like that, spirits do have a certain time. um I learned in the haunted sugar house that I lived in, spirits, they kind of have that residual thing where they were either at work during the day or they were at church or they were not in the house during certain times of the day. Some of them were. So it all depends on the day and the time and what spirit you're dealing with. But if a place is haunted, it's haunted. You can pick up all different spirits during the day. You can pick up spirits at nighttime. We just like to investigate at nighttime because there is less traffic, um, a lot of interference noise and stuff like that, and it's creepy. But
It's, I like it spooky. I like it pitch dark.
hmm.
You can't see anything, you know. No dark enough that people are going to get injured because that would just be funny. You kind of laugh at that because it's then fleeing ambulance. But I like it spooky and dark. That's my last question. Would you do an investigation on the Walter? I've said it was known for pirates.
um, Walter. I know Teach was Blackbeard. Walter, Walter who?
I don't know if that's
I don't know.
Maybe it means water. Martin, do you mean water? Do you mean, would you do an investigation if it was known for pirate? I think he means water.
Okay, on the water, like beaches. Yeah, we were getting ready to do one, like I said, with Edward Teach, which was Blackbeard. Yeah, we are getting ready to do investigation on Blackbeard. We're actually going to go to his hometown. Um, I think we're actually going to try to get out to the island where they decapitated him and put his head up on a stick. So yeah, we
Nice.
got that coming up.
That'd be nice. I would just say the word, but I'm getting fed up with the word interesting, to be honest. Not offense anybody uses it, but I think that would be quite intriguing.
Yeah, because everybody knows Blackbeard the pirate.
Every kind of everybody knows it. I say we're out because we're nearly out of time. But just before we go, well, if you want to plug your channel and tell everybody where they can find you, and not in the mountains anyway.
Right. I'm pretty easy to find. It's Through the Veil Paranormal on YouTube. If you type that in, it's really easy to find. This one, not so much. It's not easy to find because we only got 3 videos, but it is Bigfoot Mountain. I'm gonna start doing some plugs for this one on this channel, so this one's easy to find and clickable. You can also find Through the Veil Paranormal on Facebook. We are on TikTok. We are on Twitter. We're on Reddit. We are on LinkedIn. We are everywhere. So if you just Google Through the Veil Paranormal, you will find us somehow, some way.
Yeah, definitely. You're welcome, Martin Bunny. Thanks for coming in. Give her a wee look up. So we've known this lady for well over a year now, and she's a lovely lady, and her stuff as well, especially her videos. Mississippi, look up her videos in Mississippi because they were 2 big thumbs up in my book. You know what I mean? But I'll keep a hold of you, Nicole, after we come off, honey. So that's it for tonight, folks. Thanks for coming in. Thanks all for your comments. We're back on Saturday, 9 o'clock, with Nadine from Sundown Paranormal, and Sam and Kirsten. They're part of the team as well. So we're back then. But enjoy the rest of your week, what's left it. And thanks very much, Nicole, for coming back. Been a long time coming.
Yes.
All time away, whatever the word is. So take care of the now, folks. Bye.